All right, for any artist out there, there's always that one big question, the one that kind of hangs over everything. How do you find your own unique sound? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into that exact journey and break it all down.
I mean, think about it. We are swimming in an ocean of music. There are new tracks and new artists popping up every single second. So the real question is, how do you make something that actually cuts through all that noise? Something that makes people stop and say, whoa, what is this? Something that is just completely and undeniably you.
So what do we even mean when we talk about your sound? Let's be clear, it's not just about using a certain synth or playing at a specific tempo. It's way, way deeper than that. It's really the highest reflection of you, the artist. It's the melodies, the rhythms, the feelings that only you could possibly put together.
So let's think of this whole thing as a quest, because that's really what it is. There's no simple recipe or five-step plan to get there. It's a true journey of self-exploration. You're digging deep to figure out what music genuinely moves you.
And this right here is probably the most important mindset you can have. You don't just find your sound one day and then that's it, you're done. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's a path you're always walking, always evolving, and discovering new things along the way.
So where does this big quest even begin? Well, here's the kind of weird part. It doesn't actually start with you creating anything. It starts with everything you've ever listened to. It starts with consuming. Just think about that for a second. Every song you've ever loved, every melody that's gotten stuck in your head, it all gets absorbed. So this isn't about trying to avoid your influences. It's the total opposite. You got to embrace them because they're the raw materials, the building blocks for whatever you're going to create next.
And we're talking about everything. Yeah, of course, it's the artists you look up to, but it's also that catchy little jingle from a commercial or the vibe of a music video you saw years ago. All of it gets thrown into this giant creative database in your brain.
Okay, so you've got this foundation of influences all piled up. Now for the fun part, the active part. This is where you start turning all that listening into actual creating. This is where you start to forge your own path. And yeah, it's going to involve a lot of trial and error.
Now, that whole trial and error thing can feel a little chaotic, but you can actually think of it as a really simple loop. First, just make something. Anything. A beat, a chord progression, whatever. Then, you just stop for a second and ask one simple question. Does this feel like me? And you know what? It doesn't matter if the answer is yes or no. You just move on. You chase the next little spark of an idea that gets you excited.
And there are a million ways to experiment. Try writing a song using only major chords. See what happens. Try mashing up two genres that have no business being together. Play around with different tempos. Heck, you can even try to copy a song from an artist you love, not to steal it, but just to figure out how they did it. Remember, the goal here isn't to write a perfect song. The goal is just to play.
Now, all this experimentation, it really only works if you've got the right mindset. This part's less about what you're doing in the studio and more about what's going on in your head. It's the inner journey.
And you've got to be realistic about how long this takes. Your sound is not going to just magically show up overnight. Look at it this way. For the first year or so, you might just be copying other people, learning the map. By year 3, you're starting to go off-road a bit, forging your own path. But that real mastery, where you're truly discovering your own world, that can take 5 years, maybe even more. This is a long game.
So, how do you stick it out for that long? It all comes down to this idea right here. You have to do it out of pure love for the act of creating, and with absolutely no expectations. If you're just doing it to get a hit song or a record deal, you are going to burn out. The real fuel, the thing that keeps you going, is the joy you get from the process itself. And that love for the process, it translates into one thing: consistency. Showing up and doing the work, even when you're not feeling inspired. That daily habit of just making something, that is the absolute key to mastering your sound. So as we start to pull all these ideas together, let's just come back to that main theme. This whole thing, this whole quest is about embracing the journey. Because here's the thing, your sound isn't some static object you find and then lock away in a box. It's alive. It's going to change and evolve as you change and evolve as a person. And that's not just okay, it's a beautiful thing. It means you're growing. And finally, you have to let go of trying to predict what's going to work. It's almost funny how it happens, right? The songs you labor over, the ones you're convinced are your masterpieces, they might not connect with anyone.
And then some silly idea you came up with in 20 minutes could end up being the one everyone loves. You just never know. And that's exactly why you have to focus on the process, not the results.
So from now on, just keep your ears open. The next building block for your unique sound is out there, right now, waiting for you. It might be in that tune you just heard at the grocery store. It might be in the rhythm of a train passing by. Could that be the key? You gotta listen.